Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at one of my favorite filming spot locations because guess what? Even though it's 100 degrees outside in super sunny Florida today, the show must go on, and it's going on with this vehicle right here. What is this? This is a totally redesigned 2023 Range Rover Sport. This particular one is a first edition, and it is a P530. But before we get into that alphabet soup with some numbers thrown in of a name of a luxury SUV, let's talk about what's going on here. Range Rover. It is the premium brand of that long-standing Land Rover brand, which is, of course, that British-based iconic SUV manufacturer. Now, for years, Land Rover was all about bare bones, but it was about getting you through the thickest of situations when it came to off-roading. And then, of course, if you are a James Bond fan, you would know that Range Rover has played an important role with that movie and with 007 to get the job done. Now, for 2023, like I said, the Sport is getting a total redesign, and we have some interesting power underneath the hood of this vehicle. But what I want to find out is, if you're looking for the king of mid-size two-row, this is not a three-row, two-row SUVs, is this the king, and is it better than a BMW X5 M competition? Let's go ahead, let's dive into this Range Rover and find out. Right off the bat, the shape. It still looks like a Range Rover, easily identifiable, but let me show you some of the major changes. At the front of the business, it's been redesigned. We have a new style of LED headlight housing, full LED headlights, the turn signals, and of course, unique daytime running lamps. Working our way down, we have some functionality. Functionality in the corners there with the ability for air to get into those heat exchangers. And of course, on the lower side, we do have LED, a nice thin strip of LED fog lamps. I do like the way they blended in the lower fascia, how it extends down and then slides into the splitter area. But like I said, it still has that British Range Rover look that we kind of expect nowadays. Now, when we come across the front grille, I like the Range Rover because the grille is not so large on the Sport. You have a horizontal setup up top, gloss black, everything is functional. You do have active aero doors that open and close. We do have the Range Rover name across the hood, and that for me is the zonk. I wish that they would actually inset each of the letters rather than just stick them right on top of the sheet metal. But we got our Land Rover badge, forward-facing camera, blended in very nicely, more functionality in the center, and even more on the bottom portion. There's that splitter that comes across the center with just a little sprinkling of gloss black. But if you're comparing this to a BMW X5 M competition, this actually has the cleaner, more bold look, I think. Let me know how you feel about it in the comment section right now. Now, as we rise up onto the hood, clean design. I wish that the Sport P530 had some type of heat extractors. What they give you instead are just these ornamental looking things on both sides of the hood, passenger and driver side. They're gloss black, but boy, oh boy, if they were some type of functional heat extractor, it will look pretty darn good. Now, as we come around the bend, of course, if we have new design, we have new wheels. Check out what's going on with these wheels. Split spoke design all the way around. What size of wheel is this? We're looking at a 23-inch wheel. So on an X5M competition, you can't get a 23-inch wheel. Range Rover Sport, you can. Massive 6-piston Brembo caliper with the Land Rover name there, nice gloss black, massive rotors, and then of course we have adaptive air ride suspension. You could raise the Range Rover Sport, and you could also put it in the lowest setting. This is the lowest setting, and it gives the perfect amount of gap between the top of the tire inside of the fender. It would not be a Range Rover if it didn't have all-wheel drive, so we have all-wheel drive, and we have rear-wheel steering. So wait until you see how this thing makes a turn. Unbelievable. Now, coming down the side, one of the things that it's not really jiving with me is the hood. Like where the hood comes down to meet the fender, it kind of just creates a gap. and it doesn't look 100% right. You do have this ornamental side, it should be a side vent, but it's not. I am gonna zonk it. I wish that they would put maybe some running lamps in here, maybe the side turn signal markers, or make it functional. You do get power folding mirrors with 360-degree cameras. I even like the way they kind of smoke out the turn signal lens with the LED turn signals. Now, you're gonna get that nice flat roof design, two-tone with this red. This is probably one of my favorite colors on any Range Rover. You'll notice that with the door handles, when you actually have the handles in the unlock position, they extend out. Watch when I open up the door. This is pretty wild. So you open up the door, when you close it, you have that nice soft release. And that really just kind of cinches it very smoothly. That just pulls it right in. Very aggressive on the side sill extension. And of course, when you go to drive the vehicle, these handles, they will go flush with the body. Now, as we come towards the rear, they did a great job with the quarter glass. Coming around the back end of things, very, very clean. And this is what I'm talking about when I say put the wiper away. Look at this, long roof spoiler. Wiper is well tucked underneath to give us that clean, fresh look. You got the Range Rover name, the Land Rover name, new LED lighting, just as good as up front. And then the Sport badge, everything blacked out. And then coming down to where the rubber meets the road, we have a sexy quad tip exhaust, functional tips, make it loud, make it quieter, and you have a nice looking rear diffuser. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and talk horsepower and what the heck P530 means on this Range Rover Sport. All right, guys, we got the hood popped open. Now underneath the hood, we do have some new power. Instead of it being a straight 6 or the supercharged V8, what do we have? We have a twin turbo V8. So you're looking at a 4.4 liter twin turbo V8, puts out 523 horsepower, 553 pound-feet of torque. Now, the reason why they call it the P530 is that if you take the horsepower, 523 horsepower, they round it up to 530. That's where you get P530. This thing 0 to 60 in 4.2 seconds, quarter mile in 13 seconds flat. It utilizes a ZF 8-speed automatic transmission. The vehicle weighs 5,387 pounds, but guess what? You could tow 7,716 pounds. You got the air ride suspension, all-wheel drive, all-wheel steer, MPGs, 16 in the city, 21 on the highway. I love underneath the hood how you see that massive strut tower brace, ties in the front end of the vehicle, decent looking engine cover, and then of course you got your twin throttle bodies for that twin turbo V8 with your 2 air intakes and 2 air filter housings. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire up this V8 and hear its roar. All right, guys, we're inside this 2023 first edition Range Rover Sport. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I don't want a BMW. Everybody on my block has a BMW. I don't want one. Don't make me buy one. But I've always been a big fan of James Bond and Range Rovers and that whole British ideal. Like, I think I want to move to England one of these days, but I'm not ready yet, but I want a Range Rover. And this thing is checking off the boxes. How much is it? Well, guess what? I hope you're sitting down, and I hope you definitely like it shaken but not stirred, because this has an MSRP of $132,570. Let's see what you get for the money. To the door panels. All new design, two-tone with that off-white. We got the Meridian 29 speaker sound system, a little bit of cloth, but look at that forged carbon fiber. Love the way you got 3 memory seat settings, full power seats, of course. 22 different ways to adjust them. Dark chrome finish, soft material on the armrest, even the way they did the dark chrome around the trim to where the door pocket is. And you could easily get a plate of bangers and mash and a plate of fish and chips in there, plus a Pepsi to wash it down. And then even the speaker grill cover, nice dark finish on that as well. Now going from the door panel to the dash, the two-tone continues, the dark trim continues, and as you slide in, you're going to be welcomed by a 13.7-inch convex infotainment system. It's a Pivi Pro operating software, full navigation, of course. I love when you go into the car settings, you could adjust the ride height because we have that active adaptive air ride suspension. Then you could go into this page, has all my favorite icons on it, and there's a ton of them. Tons of apps. Let me show you two of my favorites. You have Dynamic Eye, which has got a G meter. You got your lap timer, stopwatch, and the whole setup on how you want to have your gear shift, suspension, the whole 9 yards. And remember, Dynamic is sport in Land Rover, Range Rover, and Jaguar vehicles. We go back to the vehicle, you could change other things, and then we go back to this screen to where we could do 4x4 eye, and you could see how you have all those setups as well, including your bearing and your altitude. Now working your way down, there is a bit of gloss black here, but the good news is that you have easy to figure out, nice digital display, dual climate. You push down, you now have 3 stages of ventilated seats or 3 stages of heated seats, and you have your blower fan switch, all within the same knob. Kind of cool. Let me throw it in reverse. Look at our resolution. That's our off-road camera setup, or you could do on-road with your 360. Nice clear graphics, and you even have a washer. So you hit that, and that's gonna wash away the camera. Pretty cool to have that kind of technology, especially when you're driving through the mall parking lot. And that's your main screen setting. Here's the amount of gloss black. This is where you're gonna wanna have your Range Rover leather gloves on. You got your mode selector switch, start stop button. This is going to control your 8-speed automatic, more forged carbon fiber with the first edition name in case you forgot. Open it up, 2 cup holders, open this up, USB-C, USB-A, and enough room in there for easily 5 scones. Get a cranberry, maybe an orange, maybe a blueberry, and have it all packed up in there. And then of course this will eventually close. I open this up. You got a little bit of a place to put your phone. It's not charging though, which is weird. You do have, of course, your felt lining, which is great. That's gonna protect the family jewels. So if you gotta put the family jewels in there, you're not gonna scratch your family jewels. Seats, the leather, the perforated material, nice bolstering. Like I said, full power assist for the passenger and the driver. And I love this light gray headliner, full Alcantara. We got our power sunshade for our panoramic sunroof. Look at this thing. It's a little on the slow side, but not a big deal. Easily closes. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I want to show you behind the all-new steering wheel in this Range Rover. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel, just like the passenger side. You get 3 memory seat settings, nice first edition badging that lights up at night, LED illumination, and a sill plate that has a nice aluminum feel and look. And then, of course, you're going to get an aluminum throttle, brake pedal, a good sized dead pedal. I just wish that was aluminum as well. Now the great news is because the seat controls are on the door, it allows the lower seat cushion to be nice and wide and supportive. The Alcantara and the leather, this stuff is marshmallow soft and I'm really digging it. I feel like a s'mores right about now. 6 feet tall, plenty of room, nicely organized. One thing that's kind of weird, if you look over here, is we have these weird captain chair armrests. I don't know a reason for it. I kind of just leave it out of the way because this is where I rest my arm. Also, wireless charging. You could take your iPhone 47, the gold edition, and put it right into that slot. That's where your wireless charging is. And then the steering wheel, 2-tone, just like everything else. You got your gloss black buttons, which are gonna show your greasy thumbprints, but I like the stitching, the Range Rover badge. Metal paddles that are a great size to go up and down the 8-speed automatic. It is a power tilting and telescoping steering wheel. Nice power adjustments, super smooth. And then you have that 13.1-inch digital gauge cluster. Look how clear the graphics are. Watch this when I go into the different modes. Ba-boom. Love the graphics. And this thing has 300 different modes. Well, maybe not 300, but what's nice is each of the modes feels very unique and very specific. We're gonna keep it in dynamic mode, and you have a massive head-up display, plus a digital rearview mirror. But why don't we get in the back seat? Because I'm ready to go on throttle in this Range Rover. All right, guys, passengers in the back seat, what's great is they get a little aluminum sill plate with some LED lighting there. That's what this strip is, that's LED lighting. The space back here is ginormous, and with that boxy roof setup, which looks oh so good and muscular. It allows everybody to have the perfect amount of headroom in here. Seat material comes all the way around, very nice and soft. You do have a good, nice large pocket that easily, I would say you could put about 4 British muffins in there. You know, a nice hot muffin with some Earl Grey tea. You're living the dream just like 007. Come on in, look at the command center you get. Forged carbon fiber, and it's got the same exact controls as up front. So you could pull, you could push. Nice, easy operation, and we do have ventilated seats and heated seats in this back seat area. Down below, what do we have? You got a 12 volt, you got USB-Cs, which are nice. I got plenty of room back here. Like I said, AC vents are nicely placed. That Meridian sound system. Pull this bad boy down. Look at that. Same material, nice soft. 2 cup holders, and then you open this up. That's where you're gonna be able to put your Skittles. So what's nice is the felt lining will keep the color on the Skittles so that when you see the rainbow, you could taste the rainbow. And that's really nice to be able to do that. And just like up front, the seats, very soft, just like a marshmallow. But let's get into that cargo area and see what we could haul besides the mail in this Range Rover. All right guys, cargo area time, real simple. Hit the button, nice electric assist. The bumper area is a little high for loading, but you'll notice you get a pretty generous amount of space here. How much space do we have? Almost 32 cubic feet of space with the seats up. Fold them down, 53 cubic feet of space. You'll notice that you have your auxiliary Twinkie strap. You could put a total of 10 Twinkies and strap them in nice so they don't slide around. On the passenger side, we got some things going on here. You have your 12 volt, of course. Nice, easy plug-in. We have enough room for a whole box of Twinkies and a net to hold those in. And then this is where you lower your rear seats to maximize the space. What's fascinating is that they have this little device here that you pull up, and now you have an area where you could put some dirty storage here. So say you have some sandals from the beach, maybe you bought some groceries and you don't want them rolling out the back. This is like a brake system so that your cans of soup don't fall out the back and then you have to chase them down the street looking like an idiot. But nobody's looking like an idiot on Rady's Rides. Well, we're gonna be looking like we're going on throttle, and that's what we're about to do. So get ready, we're going on throttle in this P530 Range Rover Sport. All right guys, we are in this 2023 Range Rover Sport P530. Nobody's behind us. I have it in dynamic mode. On throttle, here we go, yeah! Nice, fast shifts out of that 8-speed automatic transmission and really just lays it down for you. And what's incredible is you are sitting in the lap of luxury. I mean, having a digital rearview mirror, all this tech in the infotainment system, and then all the great materials. My one zonk, especially when you're driving, is just the amount of gloss black around the shifter area. But other than that, everything has such a good feel in here. The ride quality is stunning because it's that adaptive air ride suspension. And then you have that nice large head-up display, great visibility out the front, the side mirrors, and I'm driving and riding on 23-inch wheels, which normally are not going to be as smooth, but you definitely get that nice comfort in this Range Rover Sport. Seats are phenomenal. They cradle you just like a mother cradles a newborn baby. And the fact that they're ventilated, they're heated, I guess the one thing that's missing is massage. But to be honest with you, I think where the massage comes into play is when you run it through the twisty bits, and that's where you get your massaging. But the new dash, nice large, love the way they integrate it. It's not just one of those flat screens that they stick on the dash. It really just blends in nicely, and you get the hang of this Pivi Pro system actually fairly easily. It's not a big deal. I think maybe the most cumbersome thing at first are the AC controls, because you have to remember to pull for the blower fan, but push for the seat controls, the heated and ventilated seats. But definitely a vehicle that is 007 approved, because you have tons of power, tons of torque, And the fact that this thing can go off-roading is quite phenomenal when you really think about it. I'm gonna put it into manual shift mode to go through the 8-speed automatic with the metal paddles, not plastic, but metal paddles behind the wheel here. But we're gonna go on throttle. If you're ready, I'm ready. On throttle. Nice shifts from that 8-speed. And like I said, it allows you to be in that perfect gear to just lay on the torque. Gobs and gobs of torque all the way up to redline. And redline is right around 6,500 RPM in this 4.4 liter twin turbo V8. But I really just like the sound that you get. Me personally, I would like a little bit more sound, but I know for most of the Range Rover buyers, the amount of V8 rumble is probably perfectly ideal. The one thing I am noticing is a bit of wind noise around the window frame. So I don't know if that's a pre-production thing, which it probably is, but just something to be aware of. Other than that, it feels fantastic in here. And like I said, the fact that this thing could go through almost 3 feet of water, has an off-road mode, and of course, the mode that we're in, that dynamic mode for handling and performance, really shows how versatile this vehicle is. All right, guys, once again, one more time, we need to go on throttle. Manual shift, on throttle, here we go. Nice. Love that V8 sound, absolutely love it. Coming out of that quad tip exhaust. And then, like I said, the handling of this thing is just freaking ridiculous. It's a little floaty because of the air ride suspension, but it still gets the job done, especially with the rear wheel steer. And that you're gonna really love when you're in a tight situation, because it makes the vehicle that much more maneuverable, which is really nice. All right, a little bit more. On the brakes, those massive Brembo calipers. On throttle. There's a sale at the mall right now. You could get there instantaneous. Smooth downshifts. Very responsive from the pedals, that's for sure. If you have to merge, you get right over, not a big deal, and then you're perfectly placed. But I hope that this has been a nice overall review of what Range Rover is bringing in this Range Rover Sport. We're gonna get back to where it all started and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been a rip-roaring, scone-eating, tea-sipping kind of day with this Range Rover Sport. Of course, the P530. I definitely got to thank everybody at Range Rover for getting us access to this press fleet vehicle. Let me know what you think. Has Range Rover checked off the right boxes to make this thing the flat down, all out king of the midsize 2-row luxury SUVs? And is it a better buy than the BMW X5 M competition? Let me know down in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Ladies Rides family. Of course, we need to give it up. Stephen Flood Photography. He's sweating out here. He's been doing some hot yoga to prepare himself for the hottest time of the year out here in Florida, which is basically July, August, and September. I'm out here with you, Stephen, and I know all the fans have your back if you ever pass out. But show him some love in the comment section. Thank you, Stephen, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.